And now, News 4's Weather Extra with meteorologist Ryan Duggar.
Welcome to Weather Extra. You're taking a look at Detroit this past week. They've been seeing temperatures well below freezing in more of those negative degree levels, and that has been allowing for a water main to actually burst, and that water flooded much of the street and part of the city, and you can see cars trapped in that ice right there. People could not go anywhere, move, and also that same water flooded into basements. And Kinsley, we watched that video earlier this past week and we just couldn't believe our eyes.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. A lot of water, a lot of frozen water. That water made into ice. You couldn't go anywhere. That's shocking.
Yeah, people had to really go out. Crews were out there trying to chip away at the ice, let it melt, and people were still driving through those icy, watery roads. And so, very dangerous situation. But I know I'm not used to that kind of cold, but I haven't been liking the cold here. And actually, we're going to be taking a look at the temperatures that we saw throughout the southeast earlier this morning. Meteorologist Zach Webster has the info.
This morning was a big reminder that winter still continues for another month as some pretty cold air moved its way into the region to start off our Friday morning. Low temperatures dropped mostly into the middle and upper 20s, right down along the Gulf Coast even. They saw those low temperatures drop down into the lower 30s. 24, that low temperature in Troy this morning, 27 in Andalusia and Enterprise, 26 in Dothan, 29, that low temperature in Marietta. That low temperature of 26 in Dothan broke a new record low. The previous record, 30 degrees, that was last set back in 2009, and we broke that record low by a good 4 degrees, and we saw those colder temperatures all around the state earlier this morning. We got down into the middle and upper teens in Huntsville and Birmingham, lower 20s across the central portions of the state, middle to upper 20s farther off toward the south. Not much of a change, really looking all the way across the southeast. Tupelo, Huntsville, Birmingham, Atlanta, all seeing those low temperatures drop down into the middle and upper teens, lower to middle 20s across the central portions of the southeast. And as you got closer to the Gulf Coast, you saw those overnight lows even there drop down into the upper 20s and lower 30s.
See, I just wanted to leave that cold in January. I thought, I got past that with the snow record breaking and it was very fun, but the cold was very intense. So I was looking forward to the start of this month when we saw those 70s.
Me too. I was getting very used to the 70s, very comfortable with that fake spring, false spring-like air, but hey, here we are. We had a freeze warning overnight last night, and it's not much warmer today.
No, it hasn't been. I mean, we're going to be seeing that into this weekend. More of those frigid nights, while the afternoons kind of gain a little bit more warmth in traction. But we can already see that cold developing throughout our area. Temperatures in between the middle to upper 30s, 35 degrees in Enterprise, Dothan 39. I mentioned this during the weather show, more of those 30s even in around the Florida Panhandle where it typically is a little bit warmer, but you can just see how much that cold has really spread farther to the south, and we're going to be seeing temperatures overnight getting down to around the lower 30s to upper 20s, especially areas north seeing more of those 20s again. So the potential for some freezing is there. Just be sure to keep that in mind as you go into tonight as well. And for the next night as well, we'll be seeing a little bit more of that warmth, but still going to be very cold. Not too comfortable out there. Temperatures around the middle 30s with areas north likely seeing freezing temperatures. And so that cold is going to be sticking around while temperatures for the afternoons kind of gain a little bit more traction. Tomorrow for our high, upper 50s. Today we're at 50 degrees. And good news is warmer air is on the way for next week. That's always great, right?
Yes, I can't wait for that warmer air. And at least tomorrow for our Saturday, it looks nice overall. Still chilly and in the 50s for the high, like you mentioned, but at least it's not like we saw in January.
Yeah, exactly. And that sunshine that is available will help. And after the break, we're going to be diving more into the warmth that is on the way for next week and the reason it's happening. Stay tuned.
And now, News 4's Weather Extra.
Welcome back. Over the break, Kinsley actually reminded me, she said, where's the buzzer at?
Where's the buzzer? He didn't have the buzzer, so you get a buzz automatically. I know you have your plate full today, filling in for Chief Meteorologist David Paul, who has the day off. So I'll forgive you, but you did get a buzz on that.
But this is your first honorary buzzer right here. So, I mean, that is perfect. I'm glad you had that experience when we're together. There will be a lot more buzzing in the future, I can assure you that. But
Definitely.
we're gonna switch gears to take a look at the atmospheric pattern that's going to be allowing for that warmth next week. So you're pretty familiar with this map if you've been watching Weather Extra for a little bit. This is mid-level energy, and we usually watch out for this to help get us acquainted with the atmospheric pattern that is in place for the weeks to come. And so when you get to areas like this for before, you had that straight line pattern right there. That is where you can allow for that warmth to come in. But the troughiness here, that allows for cold to make its way in. So that's when we're going to be watching out for a cold front next week. But in between, we're going to be seeing more of that warmth. And we can see that over just the next couple of days or several days over the weekend. By Monday, temperatures throughout our area around the upper 60s, farther to the west, even more warmth. You can see more of those reds over Texas, so that's well into the 70s, and we continue to see that warmth building, especially to areas north. I wanted to point this out for those areas north where we saw more of that snow for areas like Tennessee into Missouri. They'll be above 60 degrees, so the snow that is in place will definitely be kind of history. It will be a faint memory once we get that warmth in. Until we see a cold front start to make its way into parts of the Mid-South, this will bring some more of that cooler air, even a chance of a few showers and thunderstorms for Thursday afternoon. But I also wanted to have fun with this as well. I was just curious, when is the first time we will likely see 85 degrees or 90 degrees when it gets hot? And these are some of the dates. Usually for 85, April 3rd, for 90, May 8th, but the earliest we've seen 85 is actually today, back in 2018, which is,
I
cool,
wish
right?
it would have been 85 today. That
Yeah.
would have been such a treat,
Yeah.
but at least it's something to look forward to.
Exactly, and if February has indicated anything with those 70s that we saw, maybe for 90 degrees, the earliest we saw was March 28th, so maybe into March we can see a little bit more of that warmth.
Yeah.
But I am kind of wanting a little bit more of those 70s into the 80s. That's a little bit more comfortable for me right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm more of an 85, 90s girl, but I'm not going to rush it. I want the cold. Weather fans to enjoy this cold weather we're having.
We can take our time with that. But that's it for Weather Extra. We'll be sure to have more Weather Extra after the weekend.